Yo, what's going on, everybody? You got Tone here, coach of the main Red Claws, and I am here bringing you guys NPL Minors Season 5, week number 6. This week we are taking on none other than Turkey, coach of the Toronto Luxrays. He is a very chill dude. I love his intros. It's very, very funny. Every time I watch one of his videos, and the intro just really gets me hooked onto his videos, so definitely check him out if you haven't done so already. Also, feel free to check out all the coaches in the NPL Minors and the fan server. All that stuff will be in the description down below. So, if you guys missed last week, we faced off against Hiker Toad, and we took a pretty tough 4-0 loss, and the matchup doesn't really get any easier considering the fact that we're facing off against Turkey. He is off to a phenomenal start midway through the season. He is currently 4-1. I believe he's tied on top of our conference with I think Techno at 4-1 as well. So it's going to be a very, very tough matchup, especially considering the fact that he has access to both the Landorus Incarnate and Thunderous Therian. Landorus Eye is of course allowed with Sheer Force, but Turkey has been very, very creative, and he hasn't brought just special sets. He has brought physical sets before. He's done so in the past. He is a very creative builder and battler, especially throughout the times I've actually mocked him, so I know how difficult it is to battle him, and this matchup in and of itself is not going to be easy, especially considering he has a lot of threats to my team. Not even just the Landorus Eye and the Thunderous T, it's also his round 3 pick Azumarill. If you see my draft, my Fairy Resist is Arcanine. I forgot to mention this from last week. I did a transaction. I traded Heatran to Turbo and the Phoenix Mites in exchange for Arcanine. So Arcanine's on our team now starting from week 6. So I'm pretty much going into this for week number 6 onward. I'm pretty much going into this while it's Steel type, which I will touch on in later weeks. But at the very least, let's just go right into. Let's focus on this current matchup. So Azumarill is a huge ass problem. Like, my Fairy Resist is Arcanine, which drops to Water Stab. My Water Resist is Como, which is 4 times with the Fairy. So there is no safe Azumarill switching on my team. Even a Fizz-Def Mew gets 2 KO'd by Waterfall, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yeah, Azumarill is a pain in the behind, no two ways about it. So what I tried to do with my team was try to make it as offensive as I possibly could while still having some sort of switch in. Not to Azumarill, because I've already accepted the fact that Azumarill is going to crap on my team as it is. At the same time, I don't want to be into a situation where it becomes a huge nuisance. And on top of that, he has other threats to my team as well. Lando Eye is always a threat, especially against a team like mine where my ground resist is Rotom Fan. And Rotom Fan gets hard stopped by Thunderous Therian, so that's not a good combination in and of itself. It also doesn't do much to Goodra, Bronzong, the whole 9 yards. So that's very, very bad. And also the fact that his lower tier stuff too is also very difficult to break past from my team. I have a lot of physical attackers on my draft. I have some special breakers too, but as you see by my team that I'm bringing here, it's kind of leaning towards the physical side, and there are a couple of physical walls he has on his team that can actually shut down this team, the Weezing and the Avalugg to a greater extent. Bronzong somewhat, but I went into this matchup thinking that Bronzong wasn't coming in the first place. So with that all out of the way, I'm just going to jump right into the team that I built for this week. So first off, you see here we have a Choice Banded, Mamoswine, Ice Shard, Skull Crash, Earthquake, and Knockoff with 120 HP, 212 attack, 176 in speed with an Adamant Nature. The HP investment is just there so I'm not one-hit KO'd by Choice Banded Azumarill's Aqua Jet after Stealth Rock damage. And then the rest is put into attack, Adamant Nature. Enough speed is here for Jolly Max Speed Breloom. So yeah, this is a hard-hitting wall breaker. This is my best way of checking his double Genie Core. And that's pretty much all I could have to say about that. Mamoswine is a very straightforward mon in and of itself, so can't really go wrong about that. So next up, we have Mimikyu With the Focus Sash, Sword Stance, Shadow Claw, Play Rough, Shadow Sneak, Adamant, Max Attack, enough speed is here for, I believe, if I recall correctly, it's enough speed for Gudra, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely not Silvally. Yeah, it's max speed Gudra, which is kind of odd. Can't talk right now. It's kind of awkward thinking of a max speed Gudra, but I didn't want to put anything to chance, so I'm outrunning max speed Timid or Jolly Gudra, one of those two. But at the very least, this I get an SD. I have Focus Ash to maintain. I get at least a turn of setup with Sword because of the disguise. I get another turn of attack because of my Focus Ash. So I can do some big. I get off some big chunk of damage with my Mimikyu if I'm able to get up an SD and then plow out the rest of his team. So there's that. Next up, we have Clifford the Arcanine with Shuckleberry, Flamethrower, Hidden Power Ice, Toxic, Morning Sun. Not gonna lie, I didn't really expect Arcanine to do much, but at the very least, I didn't really feel like, on the off chance it brought something like Mega Houndoom, I didn't want to like have no switch-ins to it, so I took into liberty of trying to have some sort of Mega Houndoom check. So this is my reasoning: Shuckleberry, so I could take a super effective ground type attack from the Lando, retaliate with a Hidden Power Ice. My investment, 248 HP, 84 defense, 120 special defense, 56 speed. Again, the speeds for Breloom, the HP, and the special defense investment prevents my Arcanine from being one-hit KO'd by a Z Thunderbolt from Thunder Asterion from full. The max it does is 99%, and the rest is putting the defense take physical hits a little bit better. So that is my Arcanine set. Then we have a Spadef Mew with Roost, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Super Fang. With max HP, enough speed for Breloom. You get the mindset of this team already, as Breloom is really much the only Pokemon trying to be max speed, if anything, and then the rest is just Spadef. This is just my main check to Lando. Most of the special attackers not named Mega Houndoom. Thunderbolt plus Ice Beam does do a good chunk of damage to most of his team, and Super Fang to break down those bulkier mons that I can't break past with this Mew set. So this is again very straightforward. Just come in, switch in on Lando. I use the word switch in loosely, as you're going to see in the battle why I say that. But yeah, that is my Mew. And then next up we have Komao with Rocky Helmet, Overcoat, Stealth Rock, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and Toxic. Again, enough speed for Breloom, you get the mindset. Max HP enough, and the rest is put into defense. This is my Breloom switch-in, as I don't really have anything on my team that wants to take a Spore, bar Mega Sceptile, which I don't want to switch in on an attack from a Breloom. So if I'm predicting a Spore from Breloom, I go into my Komao, I have Overcoat, so I can't be put to sleep. And Rocky Helmet to punish those physical attackers that they make contact. Drain Punch with Poison Jab. Pretty much hits his entire team. Like I said, I went to the mindset of him not bringing Bronzong, so I put Poison Jab to do more damage, so I'd have a way of doing damage to the Azumarill, and then Toxic is just there for stuff like Gudra, stuff like Avalugg, and the like. And then lastly is our Scolipede with Protect 3 attacks, Mega Horn, Poison Jab, and Aqua Tail. Jolly enough speed to outspeed his fastest non-Scarf Pokemon, which is the Thunder Asterion, if I was not mistaken. Yep. Yeah, Mega is outspeed Thunder Asterion, max attack. Very straightforward. Z Aqua Tail to hit the Lando, and Mega Horn to hit stuff like Bronzong, Mega Houndoom, and then Poison Jab for the Azu. Nothing really straightforward about that. So that's the team. Sorry if it seems a bit rushed. I'm already behind on this video because of in real life issues, and I had a blackout, so I couldn't record even if I wanted to. So with that out of the way, let's just jump right into the battle and see how we do this week. So as you see, Turkey decides to bring Thunder Asterion, Azumarill, Silvally, which I never really talked about. I never really know what type of Silvally he could bring, but it does make sense considering he does have that pivoting option with Parting Shot, and he does have the setup mods like the Belly Drum Azu, which can be a pain in the behind. He has the Avalugg, the Breloom, and the Lando Eye. So first thing I'm noticing, he pretty much brought what I expected. More or less. I don't know what type of Silvally it is. just because I don't like. I went to the mindset of Savali was a possibility, but I don't know what kind of Savali to expect. The first thing that came to mind was like Savali Steel, just because I thought he would have another switch into Scolipede, but then thinking about it again, he didn't really need Savali Steel considering he has an Avalugg staring me right in the face. So it had to be something else, some other typing that I'm not really seeing. But at the very least, what I'm going to do here is lead up with my Mew, because I figured I'd get up a free Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, whatever the case may be, on one of his mons. Between the team he brought, like 2/3 of his team is weak to either Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, well, half of it's weak to Ice. So I'm like, okay, lead up with Mew, see where it goes from there, and so let's see how we do. So I'm gonna lead up with my Mew, and he's gonna lead up with the one Pokemon I didn't want to see, but it makes perfect sense because, well, as I said, my Azumarill switching does not exist, and I don't want my disguise broken on my Mimikyu just yet. So I'm gonna just stay in here and click Thunderbolt because I can't risk anything else. Like my Azu switching does not exist, non-existent, zip, zilch, nada, nowhere close to being in the vicinity of this battle right now. So I'm gonna click Thunderbolt turn 1 here, and that did nothing. And he's gonna click Knockoff and kill me. So first thing that comes to mind is this has to be choice banded. Good information to know. Not so much that I just lost my Mew and my Lando switching and my Thundurus check. Turn 1, beautiful start. So now I have to rebound, and the only way I rebound is I go into Como. Cause now I know he's banded. He's gonna go out into a Thundurus. I'm gonna get up my rocks, and now I'm gonna go out into my Mimikyu. Yeah, I go into Mimikyu here as he goes for the nasty plot, expecting me to switch out here. So now, here's where things get a little bit dicey. So my play here is I'm gonna click Swords Dance because this is a very big threat. I get a free Swords Dance because my disguise is still intact. So what's gonna happen here is gonna click T-Bolt here, break my disguise obviously. And unfortunately, I go for Swords Dance here, and then he goes for the Thunderbolt. I bring it down to my Focus Sash, and then I get parried, and even worse, I get parried, full parried. So yeah, this kind of like sunk me, like both in the battle and in terms of the end result as it is. Like, I know this is nothing against Turkey, because even he's not going to expect a 10% chance to come. But the odds of the full para, is just like stupid. Like the timing could not have been worse, because of the fact that I'm already on the back foot as it is, and it's turn 6. If I didn't get paralyzed, this Thundurus Styrian would be gone. So I'm like, okay, now I can't switch out because he can get up rocks with like his Lando, because Lando T is Landorus is the only stealth rocker he brought on the team he brought. So I'm like, you know what, I gotta stay in, at least try to get some damage off and put it in range to where Mammoth so I could pick it off, even though I am choice banned, so it probably should drop. But I wanted to go for Shadow Sneak here on the off chance that he was Yachi Berry. So I get the +2 Shadow Sneak off, put it in range to where Banded Ice Shard would still kill Thundurus through the Yachi Berry. But, as you're going to see, I get fully parried again as he kills him with the Hidden Power Flying, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. So I get absolutely nothing out of my Mimikyu. And again, nothing against Turkey. That's just how the game ended up going here, because it's Pokemon, what can you do? So now I'm forced to go into my Mamoswine here to get damage off on this Thundurus, because this Thundurus can potentially just swoop the rest of my team, because of the fact that if this Thundurus is Nasty Plot, Agility, and I went Scolipede instead, if I went Scolipede, actually I probably should have went Scolipede first, because I would at least force it out by pricking like a Rock Slide or something. But then But that's a different story. But anyway, I went to my Mammoth Swine first because the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, I'm choice banded. I'm forced to go for Ice Shard here. If he's not Yachi Berry, I kill. If he is Yachi Berry, he would have to be Focus Blast, or I get to see if he's Z-Move, one of those two things. So I'm hoping and praying that he's not Yachi Berry first and foremost, because I'm already down 6-4. So go for the Ice Shard, and we are going to pick off the Thunderous. So he was not Yachi Berry. So we're kind of back in it, but then there's the problem of this Avalugg, which in hindsight it walls pretty much my entire team bar the Arcanine. The best thing I can do without having my Arcanine, the best thing I can do is go into my Como and try to Toxic it. That's pretty much my best bet right there. But Turkey's a smart guy. He knows that he does not want to have this thing poisoned. If I had Toxic on my Mammoth Swine, it would be a different story, but I'm choice banded anyway. I'm choice locked into Ice Shard, so I'm forced to switch out here. So I'm going to switch out into my Arcanine here, as he is just going to go for the safe Rapid Spin because it's a free spin. Because I lost my I don't have my Mimikyu anymore, as he goes out into his Silvally Grass. It was turned out to be Silvally Grass, which it kind of makes sense here, simply because of the fact that his team did kind of look weak to Mega Sceptile, outside of like if he was like a Choice Scarf Thunderous Therian, which he already showed he was Nasty Plot. But if he was like Double Dance, like if he got up a Nasty Plot and an Agility at some point in the game, then I probably would have lost. I probably would have just got 6-0'd right then and there. But so he has a Silvally Grass here, which was pretty much designed to keep my Mega Sceptile in check. So good prep on Turkey's part here. So he switches it in, going for a Toxic. Silvally Grass is kind of expendable here because the rest of my team, bar Como, does handle it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stay in and go for the Flamethrower as he goes for the Parting Shot into his Azumarill. And now it's pretty much just a case of what's my sack here. Because at this point in the game, all he's seen is knockoff. I know he's going to have Aqua Jet. I know he's going to have Liquidation. And he has to have Play Rough for Como. So I'm going to go into my Como here, hoping he went for Water for Liquidation. But he's a smart guy. Click for Play Rough. Down goes my Como. I get Rocky Helmet damage off, but that's kind of a moot point here. So now I'm going to go on my Scolipede. He's going to go right back out into the Avalugg. I go for the Poison Jab. I don't get the Poison, unfortunately. So now I'm going to make the hard switch into my Arcanine here because really all I can't. Oh, I went to Mammoth Swine first to get the to scout for the Avalanche, and then I believe I went for knockoff. Yeah, I knock off the leftovers here, and now he goes for the Recover because I can't do anything to this Avalugg here. And now I go out into my Arcanine here to try to Toxic it, I believe, but he decides to Toxic me back. So yeah, things are just going from bad to worse here. I go for the Flamethrower on the incoming Silvally Grass, and I believe he just went straight for an Outrage, I believe. Yeah, he went straight for the Outrage here because Silvally Grass was pretty much useless. And I went for a double Toxic here, expecting him to go back into Azumarill or go back into Avalugg here, expecting me to go back into my Amazon or my Scolipede. So now I'm gonna Morning Sun up here. I probably should have just killed it off, but I needed Arcanine for Avalugg. So now I'm gonna go out into my Scolipede here, as his Silvally Grass is gonna drop to Poison, so that's a kill for my Arcanine here. In comes the Avalugg, as I'm just going to go hard into my Arcanine. Now he goes for the Avalanche, and I believe I Morning Sun up here, or I try to go for a Toxic, one of those two things. Yeah, so I Morning Sun first here, and now I'm thinking, okay, I'm Shuca Berry. I can live any hit from this Landorus because like I said, I'm Shuca Berry. I can take one hit from this Lando, but I don't because of two things. One, he's not intimidated. Two, he's Earthquake, and it turns out afterwards he was banded. This is a banded Landorus Incarnate, so there was no way in hell my Arcanine is going to live, and that's pretty much going to be the game because my last two Pokemon, Mammoth Swine and my Scolipede, can't break an Avalugg. And that's pretty much going to be GG. We're going to end up losing this game 4-0 here. I just make some pointless switches at this point because there was literally nothing I can do at this point, because it was just literally going back and forth, trying to get myself into some situation to break this Ablug down, and nothing really came into fruition here. I'm just forced to go from Earthquake here, and yeah, this Ablug's just gonna sit here and recover. Toxic stole me down. Take out. He's gonna at some point he's gonna go on to Landorus on my Earthquake. Yeah, he goes other Landorus here on my Earthquake, because he knows I'm choice banded, and then he's going to kill off my Mamoswine with the Earthquake, and then I'm going to go on the Scolipede. He's going to go back into Ablug. I click Aqua. I click Protect first, because I thought in case he was Scarf, and then I went for the Z. I went for Mega Horn, then I went for Z Aqua Tail, and then that's pretty much going to be the game. So GG to Turkey. We do end up losing this game 4-0. So we're now 2-4 after 6 weeks. It's been a pretty rough it's been a pretty much rough stretch of games for the most part. So 3-game losing streak, never nice. Back-to-back 4 losses is even worse. The Mimikyu double para just kind of sunk me, like, from an emotional standpoint, because like you don't predict that to happen, but at the same time you're not thinking, okay, I have some way back in the game. And even so, my Mimikyu wasn't breaking this Avalug either, so this was just a case of solid prep on Turkey's part, bad prep on my part, because my prep for Avalug was literally non-existent. I didn't really pressure a Azumarill. I didn't have a switch in. The matchup was... I wouldn't say the matchup was unwinnable, but my prep could have been a whole lot better. That's pretty much what I'm saying here. But nonetheless, it is what it is. I'm not going to like get salty over some unfortunate hacks, because that was just the stuff what happened with Mimikyu just happens for a reason. You can't predict that to happen. The double para sucked, like I said. Turn 1 was terrible. I should have expected to lead Azumarill. I should have let off with something else. Although, what do you switch into a choice band in Azumarill when you don't have a switch in? Like, albeit that's pretty much on my part. I could have brought like something like a counter focus sash or Zoroark or something like that, just to revenge kill it, surprise it, all that stuff. But that's for another time. Nonetheless, that's gonna be it from me. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to get the heck out of here. And until the next time, guys, this is Tone, signing off for now. Peace out.